Schools in Ontario will temporarily move to remote learning after the holidays as part of the province-wide lockdowns announced this afternoon. And while school boards and parents were told to prepare for this possibility, there is mixed reaction to the news tonight, with some critics calling the Ford government's strategy reactive and not a long-term solution. Another hurdle for students right across Ontario. All schools will be temporarily closed for in-person learning for part of January, a move the Ford government had been reluctant to make until now. And while some parents are in support of the decision,
and I think any parent right now is concerned about COVID within the school system and also its impact on our families, our grandparents, and the larger community.
And then this is what happened.
Others are speaking out against it.
I don't think this is just a safety issue. I think this is a political move.
Elementary school students will move to remote learning until January 11th, while secondary school students will go virtual until January 25th in all Southern Ontario regions, including Toronto, Peel, and York.
I don't trust that this is going to be 1 week, and if it is longer than 1 week, I will raise hell, and I will make sure that they know how upset I am that they are dragging this out. But as soon as he came in...
With 2 children in elementary school, Bronwyn Alsop is concerned about how her family will manage online learning.
We weren't even able to get a solid internet connection, so I'm thinking if we're doing virtual learning for my daughter, it's not going to work. Our screen's going to constantly be freezing. I don't know how my husband is properly going to be juggling work and giving the dedicated time to help my daughter through her school.
Critics say if the Ford government had acted differently and aggressively implemented safety measures like smaller class sizes, surveillance testing, and increased ventilation, schools wouldn't have to be closed.
And none of that was done in any kind of meaningful way. I think we've seen this government prioritize profit and business above all else.
154 new school-related cases were reported just today, with more than 1,800 reported in the last 14 days. 976 schools currently have at least one reported case. That's 20% of all schools in Ontario. But the Premier is resolute that his government's back-to-school plan is working, and schools are only being closed out of an abundance of caution.
I want to be clear. Schools are not part of the problem of COVID in our communities. These are decisions that are extremely difficult, but they're absolutely critical.
The province has also started asymptomatic testing of staff and students at select schools. In some cases, it has identified outbreaks, forcing schools to shut down.
I think we've only just started to see what's actually going on inside schools. We need that testing to be happening in a much more widespread way.
We did reach out to the Toronto District School Board. They say they're still clarifying some information with the Ministry of Education and finalizing a letter to parents. Meanwhile, the province has confirmed that childcare centres will remain open throughout the planned lockdown.
Ontario's COVID-19 vaccine rollout is starting to ramp up, with several GTA hospitals receiving thousands of doses over the next 2 weeks.